Ladies and gentlemen and church members, the head of the church asked me to give a blueprint. I don't know whether I can give a blueprint in church, but I don't think there can be a better blueprint than standing for what is right, standing for the truth. As we approach the election of 2022, what will be good for this country is if we stand for what is right. Individually and collectively. We must be prepared to make the right decision. We must be prepared to assess the options available to us, and then we make the right decision. We must not be swayed by bribery. We must not be swayed by how smart I am dressed. We must not be swayed by my language. We must be swayed by the content that comes out of my mouth and what I say I am capable of doing. This is what Kenya needs. Many months ago, I kept on saying that the agenda that is going to be critical to us, 2022 and beyond, is a serious and realistic economic recovery program for the people of Kenya. Realistic one. Because people are promising things that are impossible. I'm in church, so I must tell you the truth. How are you going to fund all these welfare programs that people are putting on the table? There is no government that has got its own money. Any government must get its money through taxation and borrowing. Only two options: taxation and borrowing. So how much can you borrow? And how much can you tax your people? So if you say you're going to have a welfare program where you're going to give free money to people, where is that money going to come from? Where would you release it? Why do you think petrol taxes are going high? Because the government is looking for money. That is what is happening. They're looking for money to pay their debts. Watu wanatudanganya Kenya hii, hata mimi nashangaa. Na mimi nimekuwa treasury, mimi najua haya maneno. Hata juzi nimeona mtu anasema he is now even blaming me for being a gentleman just because I'm telling Kenyans the truth. So you want me to lie to Kenyans that there will be miracles coming today to solve our economic problems? There are no miracles. It's going to be sweat from the Kenyan people. So we must have good economic programs. We must have stability. We must be consistent. And we must be aware that if you overtax the person, then you are killing the goose that lays the golden egg. Na ndio kwa sababu tunasema tunataka uchumi bora na pesa mfukoni. Na tukipanua uchumi, tutapunguza ushuru. Na tukipunguza ushuru, Wakenya wengi watakuwa na uwezo wa kulipa ushuru. And this should be the simple message we should send to the Kenyan people. Haya mengine, we are in trouble. Salaries get delayed. Why are salaries getting delayed? When you sign to be a public officer, you sign that you shall be a public officer, and the terms are clear that during certain times you shall get your salary increment. This country has frozen salary increments for the next 3 years. People who are in public service will not get salary increments because we are broke. These are the real things. Mimi nikisema unasema mimi nachapa serikali. But serikali must tell Kenyans the truth. Tuachane na hii mambo ya serikali. We want a Kenya that thrives. We want everybody to pay for their medical bills without a problem. We don't want to hear that NHIF is broke. We don't want to hear that KEMSA cannot provide medicine to the people. We want stability in our education program and consistency. Even if you are introducing a new curriculum, surely, why are you confusing Kenyans until they don't know what it is all about? Because CBC, yes, CBC, children, you think children are burning dormitories because they are mad or whatever. It is frustration, they are bursting. Pressure. Ni kama pressure cooker, inaanza kutoa hiyo nini. So we must be united na tugeuze uongozi wa taifa letu. Na mimi nataka tutembee pamoja. Na tunataka amani. Na vile Mheshimiwa Savula amesema, what is happening around, whether it is Ethiopia, South Sudan, Somalia, and what is happening in the neighborhood, any threat to democracy around us is a threat to democracy at home. We might even have copycats. Wakiona yale yanafanyika Ethiopia, wengine watasema let us copy and do the same here, to create instability. That is why I kept on saying, let us not undermine democracy in any form. Let us support IEBC and give them the necessary resources to produce an election process that will be acceptable to all Kenyans, so that we can respect the outcome of that process. Let us not try and intimidate anybody when it comes to electing their leaders, whether an MCA, governor, MP, senator, woman leader, or even president. Let Kenyans have a free opportunity to make that decision. That is where the foundation of this country will be right. That is how we will become like the person in the Bible who built his foundation on a rock and not on sinking sand. So I stand here as a Quaker to say there is no better route than to stand for the truth. Let us stand for the truth individually, collectively, and as a nation. And I'm sure God will be with us, and God will enable us to make the right decisions, and God will enable us to have the right people to serve us, not to load it over us, but to serve us as Kenyans. What we want is servant leadership at all levels. We are not looking for kings. Our constitution does not allow for kings. Please make it clear to everybody. Katiba yetu haina cheo cha mfalme. Hakuna. Kwa hivyo, we are looking for servant leadership at all levels. Men and women of goodwill. Young, middle-aged, and aged. But of goodwill, to serve the people of Kenya and to make sure that food is on the table for everybody. Medicine is available for everybody. I am a tea farmer, thanks to the courtesy of my mother. We planted tea together. But the final payment that came from Mudavadi tea factory was 6 shillings a kilo. 6. In other areas, they were getting 16. That is a crisis. Tea is one of our largest foreign exchange earners. So if the return on tea has declined like that, you will start hearing threats of people wanting to uproot tea. This is dangerous. We know what happened to coffee. Right now, the exchange rate, last week, the exchange rate was at about 111 shillings to the dollar. What does that mean for the cost of fuel and the inflationary consequences? What does that mean for us when it comes to bringing medicine into the country? What does it mean for the young men you are paying school fees for who are studying outside this country? There's a serious problem. And this is the time to look for leadership, Kenyans. This is the time to look for leadership. And I know I'm addressing Kenyans through this media here. Please spare us on some trivialities. Let Kenyans start discussing the real issues. Tafadhali. Spare us the business of telling us vile watu wanacheza kwa jukwaa, wanacheza dansi kwa jukwaa. Please, this is not necessary. How are we getting water to the homesteads? How are we going to repay these big debts that we have? These are the questions that Kenyans should be answering, especially those who are seeking leadership in this country. But we are being subjected to a lot of unnecessary things. Vile mtu alitusi mwingine. Vile mtu alichongoa mwingine. Vile mtu alirarua mwingine. Is that the content that Kenyans want to be subjected to? I speak to the people of Kenya with a lot of passion and conviction, sometimes with sadness, because I see that we are wasting critical opportunities to get Kenyans to think on the right issues. Leo nimezungumza hivyo kwa sababu nataka Wakenya wanisikize kidogo, alafu wafanye uamuzi 2022. Lakini jameni, tuchambue viongozi wetu, tuweke kwa kichungi, isiwe mambo ya kikabila. Tutafute viongozi ambao watahudumia Wakenya kwa njia ya heshima, bila ufisadi, bila uongo, ndio Kenya inawiri. Hapo ndio tunataka Wakenya wetu wawe. Juzi nilisema tukitaka kupigana na ufisadi, serikali imetoa nyumba 10 watu kupambana na mambo mengi. Mimi nilikuwa nasema hiyo barabara inaonekana imekwama. Mambo yakienda mahakamani yanachelewa, yanachukua miaka 10 bila uamuzi, mpaka watu wanasahau. Mimi nilikuwa nasisitiza, huenda tukienda mbele, wale ambao tunawachia haya madeni, wale ambao watakuwa na uzito zaidi wa kulipa madeni, our young people and our women, these are the ones who should create the whistleblowing groups ya kufichua wafisadi katika Kenya hii miongoni mwetu. Wewe unaishi na mtu, yeye ni jirani, baadaye unasikia huyu jamaa amenunua meli. Wewe jiulize, alitoa wapi pesa za kununua meli? Na wewe unamjua, unajua mwenendo wake, unajua tabia yake. Kwa hivyo ufisadi unatendeka right under our noses. Tusifikiri ni kule mbali. Corruption is right under our noses. We can stand together and stamp out corruption. And through that, we can mitigate the pressures that the Kenyan people are feeling. And I want to tell you, I am ready to walk with you that path so that we can relieve this pressure from the people of Kenya. So let us join hands and let us stand for the truth. And let people know we are having problems in this country because we have fallen prey to this message that gentlemen should not be in politics or decent women should not be in politics. No, that is the mistake we have been making. Let us put decent people in office. Let us put decent women in office. That is how we will change the country. Tusiwe na huu mtendo wa kusema kwa sababu huyu ni mjanja, yeye ndio anatakana aende kwa siasa. Kwani siasa ni ya wajanja? Wewe unataka mjanja aende pale azidi kutucharaza? You know, there are some people who will believe that business is not good until they have swindled you. Akuibie kidogo ndio aseme sasa biashara imekuwa mzuri. Hapana. We need decent people everywhere. In business, in government, in church, in schools, in hospitals, in the farms, everywhere. and Kenya will be a better nation.